round will be unfolding. So immediate bans come out, MVP taking out Train, and Order
Very
removed
one-sided
affair for Order. And then moving into Mirage, like, okay, both these teams have Mirage in their top 3 most played maps, but the difference is that when you look at Train, you saw MVP ban it immediately, and you look at Mirage, which was then allowed to float all the way to the end, the win percentage for Order is... No, I won't be. It's my birthday.
Oh, that's a fair excuse. That's a fair excuse. Day 2 then. Day 2.
All right.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, we'll make you. We'll make you. But we are into this one. Thank you for sticking with us. This is going to be the first map, the map pick of MVP here on the CT side, although we have got a knife round to start things off to decide where these teams will be going in terms of who's picking that CT side. Now, I imagine that will be the pick of the winning team.
Knife round and Inferno. You know, this one's always funny to me because Inferno, I find we're either going to be looking at an 8-7 half or sometimes it seems like a 12-3 half, right? If those T sides fall flat, then things get very scary. This guy's all lining up. I love when you take the knife round seriously, Hugo. Makes for a little dramatic beginning, but it will be the Koreans to pick it up.
There was a team kill for both teams there.
Well, you know what? You get into the close quarters and things get a little crazy.
And still MVP keeps 3 players alive, so that will certainly do it, even though they kill a teammate. Either way, they will get that CT side. No surprise here on their map pick. They are going to be very confident on that half. And here's for their chance to show us here in Taiwan, again, at the Computex in Taipei. So actually, funnily enough, Connor, the second esports tournament here at Computex. The last one was last year, Dota 2 here with
Which
Zotac.
Was the first esports competition at this at the Computex Taipei exhibition. So
you are correct.
We've got trendsetters, Hugo. Forerunners in the form of Zotac, folks. But Order to the T side, you can see already with the amount of grenades they have coming into this pistol round that they have a strategy. They throw out that frag grenade towards the top of Banana in order to try and convince any CTs back. MVP with a 4-man stack in the B bomb site, and that means they've just lost their only defender at A. If Order continue to explore this side of the map, they're going to find it open for the taking.
But look, MVP just not rotating. They're committing to this, hoping that Order have seen the early apps aggression and are now convinced to hit that B site. And they may be right, Connor. Order, with the bomb going up Banana, the flash going to the top, that will surely keep MVP in position here. There's no way they want to rotate off the back of that. And with Order grouping up with every single man left up into this B bomb site, they're about to walk into a massacre.
I love this. You have to have a big pair to just sit into the back of the bomb site and wait for these players to FUD forward. You can see 3 of them back here behind the cover, one of which just gets domed. Now that could actually create false confidence. Look how Xigne starts to strike. He will take down a second. Termi and Glow coming in with kills. It falls to Alistair, and that bomb is planted, but the damage has been done. 14 HP combined for the CT side, and this last terrorist now with a Glock is down. MVP's bomb site stack works out. What a way to start off Inferno.
All of us have been so confused. They're like, well, guys, why are there 4 players on B? We just killed a man up on the A site, and MVP still committed. That's so unfortunate. And again, like that's no blame to Order to go for that, right? You find a pick 2A, you assume that they're going to draw a man off B and maybe take some Banana control, but with Banana being open, Order just go up. Or maybe only a solo B player.
And coming into the round as well, Order had their eyes set towards that B bomb site. Think of the way that they bought all of those grenades to set the utility in. So that was their game plan from the get-go. MVP, they were so convinced it would come their way, and sure enough, it does.
I've got to say, there's probably a read from the MVP side, right? They've got to have done their research on Order's T-side pistol rounds for this map. To so confidently put 4 players there, you must have some kind of information.
No, I think you're absolutely right, Hugo. But remember, we see these teams play quite often in the online circuit, right?
Yeah.
So they're no strangers to one another. They're definitely familiar faces. And because of that, you are going to get these sorts of mind games, which is what makes this matchup that much more exciting.
Well, pistols are out for Order, nothing behind them because, of course, that bomb went down. They've got money in the bank and money coming for the next round. But for now, this is going to be a quick cleanup for MVP. Just a bit of a confidence booster and a money maker from these SMGs as the rifles tap away. Glow, nice shot there to Sicko. And it's Liaz left alone up in the apartment, cowering in the corner with a Glock.
Yeah, he's scared, and he has a lot of reason to be. 5 opponents lie ahead. Of course, most notably is going to be Glow. He's already trained in on this angle, and because his teammates are all alive around him, he has no reason to look elsewhere. You know, you can see him kind of hesitating here, checking over towards the truck lane, but in fact, it is just this doorway. And I don't know what Liaz's plan is here. Just maybe wait, hope that the counter-terrorists go clear elsewhere, but you can see them so confidently waiting for him to exit. The moment he walks out that door frame, Hugo, he is dead.
Yeah, 20 seconds as well. He's got to go eventually, right? He doesn't want to get no loss bonus. He may as well die, and hoping that MVP actually finish him off as well. Otherwise, things could certainly get a bit awkward here. But that's fine. He walks out, he goes down. That's the most underwhelming round you'll ever see in Counter-Strike.
That's as flat as things can get.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that he tries to play with the opportunity, right? Make something of so little. However, cards just were not in his hand.
No.
But here's the outcome, of course, planting the bomb in the first. You're going to be able to afford these early AK-47s for this T side. You can see them picking up the rifles and what utility they can also afford. It doesn't look too good. If you check, of course, the belts of these teams are so different. CT's stacked to the brim with grenades, and Order 1 or 2 on each, if even. They've already started to throw so many of these out, and they feel the pressure coming down Banana. With a smoke, they could know that there are players close, and there is 2 MVP players on the other side.
To be fair, they bought Deagles and CZs in the previous rounds. That really does screw their money here. They've got to rely on aim duels and aim duels alone. And up towards the top of Banana, we're going to have a couple here, because Solo, he's getting flashed through. Aggression here with the MP9, but he only gets a dink, somehow stays alive, and still follows up. Sicko dead, and zeff trying to take the attention. He smokes out his teammates to keep him alive, but Order trying to pummel down with shots, going to get naded to oblivion. One by one, they're getting picked apart, Connor, and we have seen nothing come out from the Aussies here. MVP somehow keeping these B players alive.
And still with all these smoke grenades at their feet, they're starting to scramble. You can see Imagine fall off, check the top of middle, and because this is clear, he does know he has some footing to work with. He can work his way up closer to the A-bomb site. He even has a teammate already there waiting for him, but that's unfortunate. Solo's just blindsided by Hats. He takes off his head. There is another player hiding within the smoke. That's the kind of play that could easily catch Hats off guard. If zeff strikes at this moment, he could easily be dead to rights, but he falls off, and that's a 3 versus 2 now on the A-bomb site. Order are in this round.
And not much time to do it, though. That's the big problem. 25 seconds on the clock and a double pit setup. MVP don't need to face. They can wait for Order to make contact, and frankly, they're taking too long to check out this site. Liaz climbs up on top, so he does have an above angle to at least catch these guys off guard, but with no one fighting, this bomb needs to come in right now for Order. And look at the contact being made. Glow drops the bomb. That could be the round. He doubles it. Liaz dead. And there we go. MVP with a clean hold. I love the passive pit play there, considering there's such low time.
That's the second instance whereby we see MVP just very calmly sit back inside of a bomb site. They use the cover and the ability to just hold the cross. Again, time is of an essence in that situation, and because they're not quick enough on their feet, because that bomb doesn't go down, it all comes falling down around them. It's crumbled on the A-bomb site for Order, and the result of this is pistols yet again. So a strong start from MVP as they're gunning for a 4th round already.
Yeah, and should be getting one off the back of this as well. Order really do have nothing to work with, far less than even the second. Aside from one armored player, are serious limitations. And 3 up on A, and MVP again repeatedly hitting this B site. This just means the A players can be confident that they're going to see some presence, because MVP have the bottom of Banana completely contained. Order, though, he will be walking back down after the nades have gone initially. Order look to try and make a bit of a contest here down towards the B site, but without the range on their weapons, they are going to be dealt a bad hand up against rifles. You can already see zeff picking them apart. Hats going down straight away, termi with the second, and one by one they peek into their death. It's a firing line for MVP, and flawless.
All too easy. I mean, with no flashbangs, with no frag grenades, it's very difficult to soften up that defense, very difficult to force them all the way back. You could see that they were at first peering down lane, and then once they saw all of those bodies coming their way, they at least fall back 1 step. But they don't go all the way into the bomb site, which would give away map control and give away an opportunity for the terrorists. No, they still just kind of root themselves in. They had support rotating over in the off situation that they did die, but as you see, it's a clean sweep, and it's Order back into their guns now.
Yeah, and a pause coming through before that as well. Order want to make sure they're all on the same page, bringing in the tactical timeout. Definitely a good time to do so, because again, Connor, if they lose this, it really does set MVP up for success. Not only would that be a 5-0, but a 5-0 with a likely anti-eco coming above it. And as a result, we could see this 6-0 before Order even have guns. It's a buy-eco situation until they actually start to win these T-side rounds, and this has got to be where they begin.
Yeah, multiple instances so far this week. We've had, of course, strong starts on Inferno, whether that be on the CT or T side. So momentum playing into the favor of multiple teams already, and right now MVP have primed themselves to be another candidate of exactly that. But despite Order buying back, they're not going to have a sniper to work with. It is only Solo, who we know is formidable on this gun, equipped and ready to go. And we see him immediately trying to charge down Banana. He misses his chance at a quick 5v4. That would have been a fantastic opening.
but still with a triple B setup. Order not going to be baited into going for any kind of push here. They do throw a lot of utility up, but MVP aren't scared to challenge back. They push in through the smokes. Flashes to allow them to go for wide faces, and there's the kill coming through from termi. Again, kicking things off for MVP. He's been so lethal on this B site as he was the other day. And MVP, they get a pick, they get some damage, they fall on back with no real loss.
Yeah, I like that Order are trying to clash here towards the bottom of Banana. You really don't want to give away this portion of the map for free, so they're trying to contest it as best as they can, although it costs them one of their lives. And right now we do see Order doubling back here. If they were to head towards this B site, they could catch Solo by surprise. He is the only guy in this direction for the CTs, and he's still playing aggressively. Despite being flashed, he's going to throw it as Molotov, but they've already made it past. He still picks up the pick, but he dies therefore after. And this will force MVP to weaken their A-site defense.
Order were not expecting a solo B as well. They've already slowed down. They could have pushed off the back of that, but you can already see Hatz just holding fast. 20 HP left on him, so he didn't want to commit and go down. So now Order a man disadvantage, and again, the same problem as the last buy round. 25 seconds left up. And MVP, a different setup on this A-bomb site. They've got the crossfire from the pit to the site. A nice position taken from Zion, and this may completely catch him off guard, but no, Liaz checks it. Unfortunately, his back is turned, so Glow can strike with 2, and the third. Glow locking it down, and this A site is impossible to hit for Order.
Yeah, I mean, the damage is there, right? Glow's still sitting sub 30 HP, and the same could be said for zeff. There was certainly openings being made for Order, but they're unable to capitalize on either. Think about how that first gunfight unfolds on Banana. We saw shots coming in from both directions. Had that instance gone to the favor of Order, then they could have continued on that B site exploration. They could have taken down the Opper and then hit the bomb site for nearly free. So a lot of could-be's and should-have-beens, you could argue, from Order. Unfortunately for them, they are back into pistols. Hugo, this is a tale we've seen all too often already today.
Yeah, more pistol rounds and rifle rounds, in fact, and we're only 6 into this game. Order flashing their way through the smoke, but there's going to be only one man here to defend it. However, one man may be enough. Glow with 2, make it a third, and Glow's finally got a bit of support as well. The boosters come in, and Zion has an upper angle above that smoke, so this is just too easy for MVP. The flank even comes down from zeff through Banana, and he can clean up the last in middle. Order are getting torn to pieces.
Look at that pile of corpses, Hugo. They get nowhere past that cusp of brackets, which is understandable. That's now multiple instances where Glow has just committed to the spray down. He is 12-0. Wow. 12-0, Hugo. We watched Crazy Face, the local Taiwanese talent, go 15-0 for a start yesterday, and that was the strongest individual start we had all tournament. Now, there is a contest coming in here. Glow is looking to take the title, looking to challenge the champ. But right now, it's going to be termi throwing grenades down Banana. Again, they're trying to get that first in their pocket. Solo strikes by surprise. An immediate additional 2 kills here. And this is looking fantastic for MVP. Another gun round, Hugo, where Order get barely anything.
And this is exactly what we saw from Solo the other day, right? MVP started off slow. They started off passive, at least on that A site. And as soon as Solo gets the AWP, boom, he's running down mid, hitting those second mid shots. Order not expecting it. And they have clearly come unprepared to this game because MVP are just completely schooling them. 2 men left up in this round and not a lot of hope behind it. There's still deep Banana control being held for zeff as well, but he's low HP, so there's definitely an opportunity to exploit here for Order. They're not going to check the corner though, and that's a big mistake because zeff gets himself a free kill. However, the spray transfer from Liaz is good enough for 2. However, 2 is not enough because there's still 3 men left up here for MVP and only a minute or almost a minute to get this one done.
This is a fun little situation though, right? He's going to have a chance at the clutch. He does walk into the Opper. That could sometimes be enough to convince you to just walk away. He does lay down the smoke and he's going to get closer to the bomb site, Molotoving off construction, tries to fake the plant, he predicts the peek, but he just can't hit his kill. Solo overwhelms by running in quickly, and just like that, the round comes to a close, 7-0, and another gun round on top of it.
MVP have come to play today. I can't say I was expecting this much dominance, even on their map pick. Another tactical pause for Order, and a perfect time to do so, because again, their economy is in a mess. We've got about 4,000 on most of these players, Connor, but look at Sicko, no money, 3,400, and even then, the guys with actual enough for rifles can't get a full set of utility behind it. So the question is for Order, do we continue to buy up here? Probably, because the scoreline is so unfavorable, but also, it's not really enough to justify a full buy in terms of wanting that AWP, wanting the full smoke setup, and frankly, we're not seeing MVP give Order the room to go for a smoke setup.
No, we're getting into that awkward situation whereby Order are going to have to start making decisions based on desperation. Not necessarily where they wanted to be here at the start of the day. And what's scary as well is it's not even like we've had that many close scenarios, right? We've had a maybe potential 2v2 type moment, but even in those kind of neck and neck situations, it's then just MVP to kind of push it over the edge once push comes to shove. So second pause comes to a close here. Order back in with guns yet again. They will not have an AWP, a sniper, to contest versus Solo, and we've seen him get crucial kills already.
This time, though, he's down towards that B bomb site at the very least, so MVP constantly throwing him in between the two sites, not keeping him stagnant, not keeping him at least predictable. In order, can't predict anything that MVP are doing right now, apart from this deep banana control that again they hold on to. Deep nades down, and look at the damage as a result. 3 players on Order hit heavy, down to half health on these guys, and now they've got to try and make a little bit more happen, but the Molotovs hold them back, and more nades will push them down to 10 points of health. The wallbang even coming through, Connor. This is just insult to injury, salt in the wound.
This is, to me, just Order being read like a book. I mean, MVP have consistently been chucking grenades down banana, and we've seen Order, despite it not going well for them, throwing those 3 players to the cubbies, the nooks and crannies of that position. And look how easily it's been predicted. I mean, they never even saw anybody. Hugo, they didn't see anybody, and they nearly have 3 players dead.
They just need to get out of banana. This is something that so many teams forget to do. If you know MVP are continually going for this, just give up banana for the first 30 seconds of the round. Let them take control. And then you know, especially like when MVP have done it 2 or 3 times already, they put zeff down in that deep corner down towards the tree. Molotov it out. Catch him off guard. MVP are eventually going to run dry of nades. Put your pressure on the A site. And that's now what Order do, but it might be too little too late. However, Liaz looks to pull back.
This wraparound from Abs, that's going to be their opening here for Zine to claw this one back into the hands of Order. He will try to support the bomb site because Order could have so easily just sprinted inwards. Although you do watch now zeff just trying to play the role of an anchor. He will sit inside the graveyard stairs. He's waiting for the player next to him to make contact. And now that that's happened, he does come up. He pries over the top. He does get an initial kill, but now the 2 Aussies are still inside the bomb site. They're waiting for him to peek, and they punish. They pop his head, and that now falls on to the remaining MVP players to try the retake clutch.
You can see how dependent MVP were on those 2 players to actually hold the site, like they have before, because these rotations are very, very delayed. They're only going to get into the apartments now with the bomb already half ticked, and now there's a very good chance that Order could pick up their first round, but the retake is on, and Hats holds the line.
He's going to try to use the, advantage of the bicycle, but he's lost his teammate already. It's down to the 1 versus 1. Solo's up close. He sees the player's head, and he gets it. Again, it's Solo to clutch, and it's MVP to the board.
They've got to be smiling after that one. MVP. Again, flawless, Connor. Yes, we have a bomb plant. Yes, we have loss bonus. And yes, we'll have a buy. But no, we don't have any rounds for Order. They're still at 8-0. They need to leave this banana area first off. They need to go for some kind of fast second mid approach. And we need to see a smoke execute to that A site. Not once have we seen smokes actually go over the A site, right? We've seen short and long smokes. But other than that, we need pit smokes. We need like apartment bursts. Throw something new in Order. Because right now, they're not looking like they have the depth on this map.
Which is quite wild considering how often they play it. This is just a world-class performance from MVP, but this is something new. They're in a 4 versus 5 situation. We have Order with an advantage for once, Hugo, for them to try and work with. So if ever there was going to be a round, you'd think this could be it.
And they follow up as well. A man in the apps tries to trade things back, but he gets caught in the smoke, and Alistair will take the kill. Order now with a good position here to try and find a round, but as a result, MVP going to go for a rotation. zeff back towards the A site, and termi pushes Solo B, but the problem is, there's still a man down the T ramp. That's going to be Hat spotting for info, and he will get the info, but not the kill to follow. However, with that contact shown from termi, and no nades to hold off the B site, he wants to fall back.
This is scary. We're starting to play with time. And you can see MVP consistently trying to throw a wrench into the works, right? We saw that player just try to stay inside the smoke grenade inside apartments. You see zeff playing around with corners and cubbies. Ooh. But it is Alistair to find another crucial kill as the smokes go down and the T's go in. The A site belongs to them, unless zeff has something to say. But instead, he gets away from the fray. He waits for his teammate to arrive. Rotating up through middle is, of course, termi, the coach, the stand-in, who is now dead.
And with that, we're likely going to see a save here, although zeff has the money to play with this one. Other than getting exits and trying to take money away from Order, which is also a good option, there's no way he can win this round. So Order finally getting their first on the board. But again, Connor, not to put them down by any means, but that was just down to overfacing from mid from MVP eventually not going their way. You can't always rely on that from Order. They had a nice round taken, but it was off the back of 2 picks that MVP gave away. What if MVP fall back into more passive setups? Will Order be able to eventually crack that egg?
It's one of those situations where it's like we can criticize and highlight why they were so obviously punished for the plays they made, but seeing as they have that 8-0 buffer and such a scoreline to work with, you're allowed to gamble and make those mistakes, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to make big, high-risk, high-reward type situations, and unfortunately for them, the risk just doesn't pan out, and this now gives Order an opportunity. They have themselves on full guns, full grenades, and even the sniper for Sicko, who we watched put on a clinic last time he had this.
But that was on Mirage, a very, well, at least an easier map to get that AWP on the T side. This is not quite the same story for Inferno. A lot of difficult angles to approach, and CTs have fair advantages here as Solo holds down the line on long. Sicko still sits outside Banana. His teammate Hat's tagged up early by the nades. Again, that seems to be a constant problem for Hats. He's always getting picked off first in these rounds. MVP continuing to at least spot Banana and throw down more utility to hold Order back as Solo looks to reposition back towards the boiler with his own AWP. He waits for any kind of presence here from Order. But at least they're holding strong for the time being. They're not letting themselves get picked off early. They're not letting MVP get aggressive on the CT side. And now with a quad stack up on A, Order going to look to walk back towards B maybe. At least Hats is holding the back line. But no, the bomb's still up top mid. So Order yet to decide really on where they're committing. However, with this quad stack on A, MVP are going to be poised and ready for this push to come through.
Order have no eyes over towards Banana, and interestingly enough, MVP again, right, they don't have that situational awareness themselves. Glow waiting for a chance to peek out, but Solo's going to make first contact. That could now distract the T's. He even commits. It's 4 kills immediately. Everybody's fallen, barring Liaz. His whole team swept away. We saw this when they didn't have guns. Hugo with pistols, they died quickly, but that's incredible.
And that's a reset as well for MVP. They're going to crush the economy of Order once again. No bomb plant, no loss bonus, and a flawless round, Connor.
This is how you now extend an 8-0 lead into what could easily be one of those 12-3 halves we spoke of.
We thought this was going to be a close game. What's happened?
Who calls us experts?
Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, dear. What is going on here? Deagle, UMP, 3 AKs, and a dream here for Order. MVP back to the triple B setup in Order again, pushing their way up Banana early on. This hasn't come to punish him just yet, but as Molotovs begin to rain in, the pressure begins to hit. zeff looking to push, and he finds one. Can't double it down. Those Hats is in with a quick trade, so at least Order keep MVP honest. That will force a rotation back as we can see Solo moves in with the AWP, and termi waiting ready on the Banana.
To me, it's MVP making more plays. They're constantly looking for opportunities, and they're constantly wanting to create those chances, whereas Order seem to just be trying to pick up pieces and make something of a round. Because of that, we're watching MVP just sail above and beyond. A 4v3 now as it is Solo to pick up another kill. Imagine laying down the smoke towards Archwrap. Could get himself contact, but oh no, Glow hasn't realized a player snuck through. And look at termi. He's coming over and making a bunch of noise. This puts Imagine in a huge playmaker position. termi, unsuspecting, walks into the crosshair. Now Order have another chance to bounce back. With Zine from above, he strikes downwards with a headshot and information gained. Bomb is on site, and now it's planted with Imagine here to support.
Yeah, he has the cover. The plant can come through, so Order now in a very good spot, but MVP looking to retake from the same position, peeking at the same time, but it's delayed. Imagine with one, and he has to get that reload in, but Zine gets tagged up in the process. No need to peek for Imagine, and Alistair will clean it up. Order, they may get reset, but they come back in hot.
That's really huge, because obviously when you lose a round after winning one, your economy's now in shambles. Everything's up in the air. For them to still win a round right then and there gives them a chance to finish on a strong point.
But the biggest issue here is MVP, not only have they been flawless in the previous round, at least that they won, but also they had an 8-round streak. They've still got money to buy up, and while it'll be dwindled after this singular buy, it gives them a second opportunity to bounce back and get a further reset.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not as though they're out of these rocky waters. I'm sure they still feel the heat. And seeing as we're in Taiwan, the humidity. Push down Banana yet again. termi wants to get himself up close. He wants to go blow for blow. He hears the movement as well, right? And Order, well, they don't quite realize whether or not there's somebody there. They know it's a possibility, so they linger around the middle of the map. they've got to keep their eyes on this flank.
But look at this setup here for MVP. They're giving up Archway. It's not been a position, aside from that previous round with Imagine, the order really pressured. So now they're going to walk into a triple short setup, and Solo's already made face, taking down Liaz. So MVP still holding deep banana, now going to be pressured on that B site, so termi needs to call for a bit of a rotation as footsteps are going to begin to be heard. We don't have a Molotov to get him out of this corner, so Order need to check the spot. They haven't done before. Again, termi strikes it with a first kill coming through, and even doubles down before the trades are impacted. Order still a man down, but they do have the B site.
Yeah, look at the timing here, right? They're going to use those grenades to ensure that the number one man Glow can't actually get into the contest. The bomb even able to cross into the site as well. So now his teammate has to give cover, but look at this two-player flank coming in from Banana. Zine just charges in, and it's a great trade from Solo. The bomb planter's inside the smoke. How the hell does Imagine get out of here? He doesn't. He doesn't, Hugo. He is gunned down, and another round picked up by the Koreans.
I like how he forced a bomb plant there. They needed the money. They needed every single dollar they can get. So fair enough for Imagine to commit to it, knowing that that clutch is not going to be easy for him to find. But MVP, waiting for no one, just diving into the site before the plant even came through, and they're going to take the round convincingly. Couple of players still alive, and yeah, the money will be fine for them moving forward. We already talked about it. This is the problem here. Yes, Order can come back off the back of getting reset and still find success, but at the end of the day, if MVP have a buy ahead of them, it doesn't seem to matter. 10-2, and Order, what do they even do here? Eco coming through. They're trying to play for at least a couple of rounds in this half.
Yep, absolutely. Understandably as well. It's crazy that Glow starts off this game with a 12-0 scoreline, and now he only sits at 15 frags, but it's really been Solo to step up behind him. Solo's got himself into the low teens now too. So heavy hitters shining through. And Order look to blast past this smoke if necessary, if needed, if possible. They do actually manage to time it. The arch side's actually just been given away. This is a round where the pistols could work out because Glow can only get himself one kill. He is not able to mow down multiple targets as seen previously in multiple rounds, Hugo. This is an afterplant where Hugo, oh no, Order still have a stake in it.
I love that, though. They flash, they get aggressive. Order know that if MVP equalize a retake and a 4-on-4, they'll probably win. So Order force kills, and Alistair forces more damage on top of that. Glow down to just 9 points of health, and Order with an opportunity. They'll seize it. Lias with another one, and there's only one player left up for MVP in the retake, but I can't quite see what's going on. So we've got to see if Glow can do it, but no, it's a save. He's fallen back. He's running away. And Order, they're going to win it with pistols, Connor, not even armor.
This is another situation that we can compare to when they were nearly reset but bounced back with the force buy they still had, right? Because that is a saving grace. It's a round that enables them to then contest in the next follow-ups. And despite losing those and being forced back into the situation they're dealing with now, that round right there means 10-5 is still possible.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be happening. Order didn't even account for that round to be won.
Yep.
But really nice work post-plant there to get aggressive and force frags. Upset MVP, and now an opportunity presents itself. Money gone for the CT side, and AWP saved, and pistols in play. Order should be able to get their fourth here at the very least, and Nades will just take down the AWP at the top of Banana. Nothing can come through there for Solo. The USP unable to connect enough bullets, and Imagine's doubling down just to try and find himself a couple of openers towards that B site.
That's really sick, right? If you're Order, you know that the one single sniper was saved into the next round. And what they do is predict the position that team is going to try to put the sniper in. And sure enough, why not the top of Banana? It gives you a long line of sight. It gives you a chance to possibly collateral. And it's in that instance that he peeks into the Molotov, he gets hit by the frags, and he's done for.
And because Order know that this Banana has been such a problem all game, only due to MVP's utility usage, the one round they know MVP don't actually have money, they just hit it fast. They don't delay like they have been doing, at least countering the fact that MVP have been doing a really good job with those Molotovs. Nope, Order just take control, they keep MVP back, and they will win their fourth round with a flawless one as well, at least so far. But that shouldn't change. So MVP saving a bit of armor, couple of CZs, waiting for the lost bonus to kick in, and trying to find this buy for the last round of the half.
It's one of these moments where Order are starting to do enough on this T side to keep the idea of a comeback in our minds, right? It's not too far gone. 12-3, 11-4, that's scary. But that fifth round, Hugo, it would feel good, I'm sure, for them, especially considering how many times they just barely bailed themselves out of what could be an even worse situation.
Well, let's see if Order can complete the comeback at least to 5. That would be far better than how it looked to start off the map. And Sicko, the man with the AWP, going to be dropping the first player here. Solo dead. That's a big kill to find as well, because we've again talked about this AWP on the T side for Order being so powerful. sicko finally showing off. But will it be enough to find the round? MVP are still facing severe limitations with their weaponry, and termi's kind of stuck down the bottom of Banana. Once that smoke fades, we're going to see Order go for this B execute. And even though MVP have 2 players here, they haven't got a lot of weaponry to work with.
Yeah, and actually, if termi throws away this MP9, they're going to hear that, right? The sound of the gun hitting the dirt will be heard by Order. So now he's just going to strike and uses the element of surprise. It's traded back by Imagine, and zeff, seeing as the smokes in his face, can do nothing to replace his teammate.
Order, they're still going to hold fast. We've got a rotation coming through from behind. Zine pushing down that second middle, so it allows for Glow to rotate through the CT spawn. MVP convinces it's a B attack, and they will be right in their assumption. But Order have yet to commit. Still the smoke's beginning to rain over. 40 seconds on the clock. They don't want to leave it too late. This is their round to take here with a man advantage. And they'll begin to push in, but Glow strikes from the coffins. Already sending an enemy to one of them. And zeff going to double down as well. MVP somehow putting up the defense, and still the flank remains, but it won't even matter. zeff just shutting down Order there in the final round.
Goodbye, good night. The Sandman stands and strikes from inside that B-bomb site. Solid stuff from zeff.
Glow 18-3.
That's big. That is big. I mean, he continued on with the strong start he had, right? But we also have to take note, in my opinion, of Solo with 14 frags, termi and zeff just there behind him at 13 and 12 apiece. This is not a one-man show in terms of MVP. That was a solid performance from the entirety of their lineup, and it's for that reason that Order have struggled so far.
Well, let's see if that can continue into the second half. Order, they need this pistol round corner. They can't afford to give it away, and they look to be a bit proactive with it as well. 3 players pushing down middle. Confident start here for Order, but will it result in a couple of kills? We need to see them now, and already Solo started off. Frag to Hats is going to come through, and MVP just fall back off the back of that. They don't want to force any more kills. In the meantime, they burst out of apartments where the A site is still being held, but shots missed from sicko may cost him the round.
Oh, God. Thankfully, he gets that last bullet in, because Zine was in such a dangerous situation. Look at this, though. Alistair's going to just now pinch them in from mid. He gets them distracted, and Liaz sweeps up what remained. zeff will try as he might to bounce things back into the hands of MVP, but the pistol belongs to the Aussies.
And that's a chance there for a comeback. That's the opportunity. Looked like MVP could have run away with this game just a few rounds ago with those resets going in their favor, but Order not only pull the comeback to at least 4 rounds of the half, but they take the pistol as well. This should be their anti-eco. Commitment of the buy coming through for MVP as they bring in pistols and armor, with slight bits of utility as well, but nothing too crazy. And Order, at least 2 rifles here to try and get the job done, but SMGs to farm themselves up some money because they've got a long road ahead of them.
A lot of flashbangs for MVP to work with, though. A well-placed flashbang can turn the entire tide of a gunfight, Hugo. Gotta be cautious. A single smoke as well for zeff could indicate a B-site strike. Right now with the deep smoke down, they are welcoming Order inwards, but I like the repositioning from Liaz. He'll try to catch them with an off angle.
And still 2 players here for Order as well, so it's not just the boost that will catch MVP off guard, but as soon as that happens and contact is made, Hats can peek out there with the UMP to add further damage. It's a good setup for Order, but can be countered with a couple of well-placed flashbangs. So let's see if MVP utilize these nades. They won't. They just dive on in, just going for a full-on drive push, and that'll cost them. Liaz a lot of damage, but Order still fall back here. Drop a smoke and retreat. It gives MVP map control, but at the cost of a lot of health.
Yeah, that's what's now going to allow for MVP to get that one step closer. And you can see Order not necessarily going for a flank just yet. So the pressure still falls onto the shoulders of the B-site players. Liaz finally connecting enough damage to get himself an opening kill. And now that he's got the fresh mag in, Hats emerges from back behind those boxes. And it falls to Solo all alone. He will get himself a kill. But with 20 seconds on the clock and the bomb dropped, he has no chance in this round. He's just going to fade away. If he's lucky, he gets another.
He needs that loss bonus, though, so I wouldn't be surprised if he pushed back in for something else, and yeah, it won't work out. So, sicko cleaning up, and Order, smiles on their faces. They know this comeback is possible. They've just got to do it step by step, bit by bit, round by round.
Absolutely. It's not too far gone. It's a strong start, and now with 3 SMGs in their hands this round, they are looking to collect some cash. The debt collector. He knocks on the door of MVP, as they'll come in with only Glocks, not a... Excuse me, 1 P250.
Still not exactly a saving grace, though.
No.
Doesn't make a difference. Could be full Glocks.
It's a negligible difference.
Yes.
course, it is inside of the apartments. That makes absolute sense. That's where you're going to get the closest point of contact on the entirety of this map. And somehow the Glock picks up a kill to Hats. His head's been ripped clean off, and his teammate parades away back to the top of Banana. Imagine slowing things down and trying to convince MVP away from Hats. Liaz has to be careful here. There is no player behind him, and oh my god. That is a massive opening.
It's given an M4 over to MVP and already opened up that B site. Order are late with the rotation there because of how surprising the Glock kill was. So MVP now have an opportunity in a round they shouldn't have even had a chance. Order with a man disadvantage and only a singular rifle to work with have to come in for the retake, but we have a bait play coming through. Solo taking the attention and Glow taking the frags. Another kill coming through, and it's delayed pushing from Order that may cost them the round, but Alistair with 2 big shots to the FAMAS make it a third. Order are back in this one. It looked dangerous, but it will be saved.
Order are so incredibly lucky that Imagine and Alistair are able to just bail out their teammates there, because that would have been an atrocious situation. I mean, it's still incredibly costly, right?
Yeah.
What I really like about the play in the afterplant from MVP is that the M4 is really the best way to start pummeling back these Kevlar CTs, and you know they're rotating over. So he hides himself in the deepest corner of construction, and the secondary weapon, the MP9, is what grabs the attention of the first player pushing in. That guarantees 1 kill, and as he wide swings, he has a chance to pick up a couple more. Unfortunately, he can't connect the shots, and Order come out on top with now a double op setup.
And this is where things could really start to get good for Order, because MVP don't have that AWP on Solo to counter it. With 2 AWPs, 1 down towards the B site, and a triple setup as well for Order. They're looking prepared. However, MVP not looking to make the same mistakes that Order made against them. They leave Banana open. They don't try and walk up early on, because that utility can be so damaging. And there's not a lot you can do against it as a T player other than just accepting your fate. They don't want to get mollied out. So MVP just sit back for the time being as Order look to take control of this Banana, but it's actually a rotation coming back, and Hats left alone on B.
Yeah, Hats is just waiting for the smoke grenades to fade so that he actually has a line of sight. There's really no reason for him to commit to more than a half second on these peaks, and sure enough, the moment it fades, he puts in the scope, but then he comes off of it. Now, he was definitely spotted, which means this player from MVP has a chance to just peek out and one-shot headshot him if he has the aim, the raw talent, the skill, although it's just not quite there. Meanwhile, Liaz, he's going to be sectioned off by a smoke, and you can see MVP taking control of this A side of the map. They're getting closer and closer to the bomb site, Hugo. They're waiting to execute in.
With smokes and Molotovs starting to come over as well with 30 seconds on the clock. MVP have got to kick up the pace. The bomb's still back down towards bottom mid, so this could be that fake coming through, but MVP need to make their decision quickly because they're falling like flies. Alistair and Sicko opening up, and now MVP dart back towards B where only 1 man remains, but that may be enough. Hats only needs a single kill here, but he can't find the shot. The smoke down, and his opportunity blocked off. MVP trying to get this plant in, but with 10 seconds left, Order could even be convinced to run through. They won't, but they'll set up for the retake, and Hats begins.
Yeah, now these 2 last players are so stuck out into the open that this should be done. It most certainly is. Had they maybe used an extra 2 or 3 seconds to their favor, they could have found some cover behind boxes, retreated towards Banana, and isolated those retaking Australian players. However, Order, they know that if they keep up the pace, if they play high octane, they control the situation, they minimize their own losses, and they grab another round. So 3 rounds the difference, and that double op setup worked out for them. They are not punished for investing into such a heavy buy, and now they could be rewarded, seeing as MVP will have a broken economy. And no, they're going to buy. All right.
Okay. I can get behind it. They have a lot of nades here. They have, of course, the MAC-10 as well.
Yeah, no, it's... I didn't think they'd have as much cash, so MVP pulling one out of the hat.
The smoke towards the top of middle will keep Sicko back with his own AWP, but there's another one on B yet again. Damage has been done. Termi runs through the Molotov. He almost dies to it. But down to 30 points of health. Order really are being pressured here. They're being kept honest by MVP. At the back of the site sits 1 man, and Hats tries to take a bit of initiative, but he's 4 HP in the process, so this is a one-shot and drop-off position. He can't go back in for more. Smoke needs to be placed, but his teammate's dead, and Hats can't follow up. It's a double opener coming through for MVP, and another site taken for them. Surely this retake is impossible, but Sicko,
God.
Hello.
This is the kind of situation that might convince you to try the retake, because that's the kind of confidence-bolstering shot that just makes you feel like a god amongst men. Although he knows better, Sicko will fade away. So this is MVP trying to exploit the B-bomb site. We've seen them in multiple instances find this opening, find the plant, but then normally it was ordered to make the retake happen. Order, this time around, they lose it so quickly and have so little stake in that retake attempt that they just call it quits.
Filthy shots from sixgo. He's got his confidence up, Connor. We could be seeing a lot more from this man here in the second half if MVP don't close out this game here and now off the back of that bye. Because with 12-8, they still have the lead, and they're starting to at least start things off on their T side. That's only their first round taken into account. So it's been a long time coming, but economy has been a bit of a plague for these first few.
Yeah, I mean, remember, MVP put 7 or 8 rounds to the board before we finally had Order chime in with one on their CT side.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty back and forth.
Nothing too crazy. We've had only 4 in a row for Order since this half anyway, so MVP starting to break that, but will they double down? That's the question. Again, the Triple B setup, Order repeatedly doing this round after round just to allow for that extra 4 bits of utility to throw in towards the B-bomb site. Molotovs hold MVP back, but they want nothing to do with it. Again, it's just the difference between these two teams and how they approach Banana. Order wanting to take quick map control, and that costs them maybe 8 rounds in a row. Whereas MVP, they're happy with giving it up and moving in once the Molotovs have faded, but actually they go a little bit preemptively. Termi takes more damage, and the ult misses a shot, but Solo certainly doesn't. Lias has to fall back as the timing gets the better of him, but he can smoke off the position and hold on.
Smoke grenade's now going to force Imagine into the open. The flash gets underhanded inwards. He will grab the attention, and the player strikes from above. That is what Order needed. A solid and significant, convincing B-site defense. It leaves it all on Glow, and with a one-man show versus 4, it's just not looking good for him. So Order seemingly have robbed back another round, and that puts MVP in question.
And this is where things get scary. I was about to say, right? Order may have started off this map pretty slowly, but at the end of the day, if they take this, Connor, we've already alluded to what that second map is. Overpass. That's where MVP are not going to be confident. That's where Order are going to be ready. So MVP need this map here if they want to take the series and go forward to the grand finals, and Glow certainly does, but he can't do enough.
This is another one of those instances when all the corpses are just stacked up in one position. And at least that goes to show you that both these teams are trying to play that trade frag capability that you know, top-tier teams do use. It's just when every one of your players gets mowed down in one foul swoop that, well, it no longer looks convincing. This buy also not convincing me personally. Double AK-47, I understand why they're going into this. They don't want to have to play with the double save. Oh, sixgo. This is an ambitious play which could have cost him. If he gives an op over to MVP, then they have 3 weapons. That was very scary, but he gets away unscathed.
He had no support as well. Like, Imagine was the closest player, but he was just up on short. He wasn't exactly peeking down mid. Those kind of plays are doable when you have a smoke down mid, but then MVP will just be aware of your position, and now he's going to be aware of the 4Ts rushing towards him. Make that 5, but not for long. The Molotov burns him through, and sixgo with another kill with a P250. It is a complete mow down there for the side of Order, and even though Solo tries to keep things alive, it's just not looking good.
1v4 attempt, and he's already got 2 bodies ahead of him. He will have the cover of Moto to try and isolate 1v1s. Now, these 2 CTs cannot see him at the same time, so now he's going to exit. He predicts the second peek. I love the way that he tries to wide swing there, because what Order are expecting is him to take the duel with the player behind the box and then attempt to get the one from Graveyard. He realizes how pinned into the situation he is, and so he catches them by surprise. He kills the player in Graveyard, knowing where that next man was, and had that kill came through, Hugo, it's a 1v1 and a near 1v4 clutch attempt. That was cool.
The intricate details are always fun, but unfortunately for MVP, it will not be around.
It's the split-second decision-making, right? That has to be praised in that moment.
Showing his individual talent. Again, this is a man with years of experience, one of the most experienced Korean players here, Solo. Dating back years. But we need 4 more rounds here for MVP to find Inferno and Connor. Order on a real hot streak. But again, as we have already said, if we look back to that first half, it was MVP to start things off, only for Order to claw it back in the latter stage.
Exactly.
Could be the same story here.
Most certainly could be. Not yet, though. It's a slow round. Elbows being seen. The op could very easily just sweep that player away, and that's going to leave the rest of MVP to work their way into the A site. You can see them just on the cusp of both middle and boiler, but sixgo's giving opportunities here. They're just kind of playing with him, trying to get him to commit to a gunfight that they can then punish themselves.
But if they group up, they can easily overwhelm him, even with a position to fall back. Although the timing, he runs around the corner. They're going to hear it. They dive in, but Sicko's ready. First shot coming through. The second one connects, but he's got a support coming in from the archway, and that will find a couple of frags itself. Solo's the only man to do damage here with the P250, but he is still getting chased down, hunted. Another 1v4 ahead of him, but this one even less realistic. Again, the pre-fire. This man knows his angles.
Yeah, that's the kind of player that, like you said, right, has years of experience. Those are the kind of players that make those types of cerebral decisions. So, again, something worth praising individually speaking, but in terms of rounds and wins, MVP have come up short so far. One round the difference, Hugo. Looks like Order, they're mounting this comeback. And honestly, it's all started off with the double op setup. Sicko has given up some opportunities over towards Archway, but what's nice is that he has support from that rotator at the B site, and that M4 AWP combo has really been an issue for MVP to deal with.
Now MVP deciding how they want to invest here. We could have an AWP with no armor, but that would be a real risk. MVP, they've only found one round on this half, and it was straight up reset by Order. When we had the same story in the previous half, Order were able to actually force up off the back of being reset and find success. MVP did the same here, but it wasn't able to find too much.
Yep.
And that's the big difference here. This is what will allow Order to potentially find this map in a comeback.
It's like both teams have been in those very sticky situations, but only Order were able to manage the pressure and still make something of it, right? Despite being minimal, it was something more than MVP.
It's another round, right? It's one more round.
Exactly.
Yeah, Order.
Solo buys an op here.
Yeah, I think.
Give it to me.
Delayed. Oh.
All right. I mean, it makes sense, right? You want to play utility, and they have had good utility usage.
He's been good with the rifle as well.
Exactly. I just love glass cannons. I want to see somebody try to contest Sicko, because look how confidently now he peeks into mid. We've seen that multiple times, and he's never been punished for it. Not yet.
Yeah, and even damage on top of it. zeff down to 20, so at least a good start here. But we've yet to see this kind of setup for MVP. And Apps burst coming through with 3 players down the hallway. Only one man on top of the balcony. That is going to be Alistair. And actually not a heavy A setup at all, though Imagine begins to rotate back into position. So now things start to get better for Order, but will they be enough? The timing of the nade, it goes down, but so do all the T's. Imagine and Sicko doubling it up. And Order are just going to lock down this A site once again. MVP having no success here.
My God, Alistair's so lucky he gets out of there alive, just falling down at the perfect moment. And of course, creating a distraction, right? MVP, they just chased him. That's all they wanted, just 1 kill. And they haven't gotten even that. So this is another convincing shutout. And think about the fact that MVP, they took a pause. They thought this decision over. They decide to invest, and now they're going to pay the consequences unless Glow comes out with an astronomical clutch.
Yeah, I mean, Order's pauses have definitely had good effect as well, pulling this back on their T side. They got those last couple of rounds off the back of pauses, whereas MVPs have been pretty unfruitful. The spot coming through, he sees the barrel of the rifle, and Alistair makes contact. So Order, they equal it up, Connor, 12-12. This would be incredible if the full comeback was completed, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's still a couple of rounds left up. MVP, however, for this one, don't have the money.
I've been trying to avoid it, but we need to take note of both Zine and Hats, man. These guys are trailing behind like crazy. Zine with 5 kills, Hats on 7, right? The game's tied, so it's not like they've yet lost their teammates the match just yet, but you'd think that if either of those players can now start adding to the equation, then we'd be good to rock and roll. But the bomb's been thrown over to Order. It's a gift lying at their feet. Lyaz, well, he wants more of a gunfight, peeking down Banana, prying and peering. But it's Alistair to sweep away at 2.
Solo, well, the standout player for MVP so far this map. Again, left in these awkward clutch situations, only gets 1. It's another round for Order, but to be expected with only pistols coming through there for the T side. Yep. Now the buy should be going forward for MVP. They'll have money, but will they have the AWP? No. Again, against bringing this in. Glow could even drop one over right now, but he's not choosing to do so. I think this is a big issue for MVP. They've had the money for it.
And Order have been implementing their own snipers in order to create man advantages, right? Yeah. Again, Sicko has not been contested here with the mid aggression, and again it happens. This would have been a prime round to try and get a peek. But it just doesn't happen. They will chuck their grenades downwards. MVP then come to a halt thanks to that, and Hats will be tasked with some kind of an opening kill here.
Still nades keeping these T's back and actually doing damage on top. zeff Again, early tagged up, but it's Hats. You said he needed to step up, and at least he's begun, but it's zeff to follow up in response. MVP able to open up this B side at least for now, but Imagine's rotated back into position, so it's not like Order don't have a defense here. He'll run through the smoke, and he'll line up 2, but only 1 kill coming through. MVP still with a man advantage, but they're yet to crack open the B site fully.
Yeah, that could have been something much bigger than it is, but it does still prime the rest of Order to win out on this round. zeff, with a 3K already, holds on with a smidgen of health. He will give cover to the bomb planter, who will not be contested. He cannot be stopped. Sicko, oh no, he offers up some of his health. And then a smoke grenade at his feet's not going to make his job any easier. And this one even refurbished. So the utility in the after plant has been crucial for MVP to at least burn time off of the clock.
And still they have more. A Molotov and a smoke further. There's no way Order can win this, surely. They're leaving this far too late. There's only about 10 seconds left up.
I do like that they use the Molotov at the back of the bomb site. That could clear a corner, but now it falls to Sicko in a 1 versus 2. He's lost his teammate in the process, and he didn't have a line of sight. But he does still have a chance to keep this AWP. Zein's incredibly close. He wants the kill. He'll take it. And we are tied again. 13 rounds apiece.
Oh, they just picked up both orbs, but I heard one of them get dropped, I think. So only bringing one forward, but that one could be what MVP need to close out this game, Connor. 13-13. Order still with a double orb coming straight through, but MVP have their own to play with. And now I'm starting to get a little worried for them because, again, MVP may be finding life off the back of that round and having better weaponry to do it. We could have a real game on our hands if this wasn't already.
Remember, Order have been really good in these high-pressure situations, though. When economy control is on the table, they tend to try and grab at it. They've consistently nabbed it, and Hats, well, he doesn't want anything else to do with Banana. He does have support behind him, which could come in the form of grenades or gunfire. You don't want to give away too much of this map control, so Sicko picking up an op kill elsewhere on the map is a crucial way to start this off. Again, AWP is the name of the game when it comes to these Aussies.
And roaming as well. Sicko, first time we've seen him in the apartments, he peeks down from the hallway and takes the frag. So Order just constantly keeping things new, keeping MVP on their toes and not being predictable here. It's going to allow them that first kill to the player that, again, has had nearly no impact here on the side of MVP. Zein having a pretty tough game, as this seems to be for MVP right now, with a man disadvantage and a reset on the cards again, Connor. This orb still posted up in the B site, and all he needs is one right now. He spots the corner, but he's not going to be able to get the shot. Goes back in for more, and that's going to be far too ambitious. zeff takes the kill. Luckily, the boost is still up employed for Liaz, but he can't spot the angle to drop a player. Expects the wrap back round, but it won't be the case. He gets one and drops off. Order set up for the retake now. This is still doable.
Most certainly. CT's rotating over as well. They have so many flashbangs and Molotovs. That's going to put Liaz in a big position, right? If the flashbangs start popping off near him, he's going to be the first point of contact. He's going to be the player to try and peer in, and he will try to stop that bomb plant, but it does come through. So much damage, substantially, just peppered through the coffins. Now his teammate comes in as well. A 4v2 situation with a T to the back of the bomb site. Glow's going to be sectioned off, and this does not look good for MVP. Somebody needs to step up big, and they continue to fall. Hugo, one by one, it's done, and Order bounce back again.
Fantastic retake there from Order. They great utility usage again. That's something that we commended MVP on their T-side post plants on this B site, but Order, the same story. They flash their teammates in, they double peek things, they don't allow MVP to run away with man advantages. And that will be the lead taken once again. It's been so back and forth in the second half, or at least the latter stage of it, as we expected. But MVP, even with the bomb plant, Connor, they don't have the money. It's 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. It's a bit of an awkward spot for MVP, and they've got to make the decision. Do we want to play for overtime, or do we want to force the issue?
They haven't won 2 consecutive rounds in a row, so if they do offer up that 15th for Order, they'll then have to do it. No second chance, no saving grace. So it's a fantastic time to take a pause. Both teams going to make the most of this. Although if you're Order, you're confident, right? You've been in control of this game ever since the swapping of the sides.
Yeah.
And they've had solid retakes too. Even when MVP gets some kind of a footing, Order have tended to come out on top. Of the 2 rounds we've really seen MVP pick up here, it was that one time that they get a 5v3, an immediate B-site crumble. Since then, at least Order have put up some kind of a hold beforehand, making the job of the Koreans that much harder, and this kind of buy will do the same. 2 MAC-10s. I'm expecting a really fast play here.
If you lose this round, if you're MVP, you probably lose the game off the back of it, because next round you're going to have even less. Unlikely to get a bomb plant here. It's not a good buy, Connor. And it may be goodbye here to MVP in the first map, unless they can find the force. Straight to the top of the B site, already the Molotovs coming through, and MVP looking to show face, but Order have a triple B setup, and shown by the early aggression again down middle from Sicko.
That has never been punished, not once.
But yet, I don't think he's had a kill from that once. He's had damage.
Yeah, that's the crazy part, right? It's just like nobody's really forcing the issue, and he even falls off really quickly.
Fair enough. If it works, it works, and that certainly will. Hats again with the AWP on the B side, starting things off, and he drops solo, one of the key players here for the side of MVP. Not a good player to lose early on, and Hats is still committed to the angle.
The utility usage slowed down MVP. Remember, they had 2 MAC-10s in the equation, one of which has been whipped away. It was zeff who retrieved it, and now that op shot through the wall from Hats does hit him. Softening up his target. Oh my god. Termi gets wrecked.
I feel like it's so common that you say, okay, a player needs to step up, and they really do. Hats has been so consistent down on this B side. We've seen some overfacing from time to time, but he's putting in the kills where they really matter. But will Sicko be able to do the same? He's being overrun. The CZ's coming through, and an AWP picked up from the T side, but it doesn't matter because Hats again with his 3rd kill of the round. He is not giving MVP a chance in this potential one of the final rounds.
Double op setup from Order's been incredible, right? If we do have to kind of highlight Sicko missing some crucial shots, it's been Hats to step up when he does miss. Liaz a little trigger happy here, but understandable in a 4v1. zeff the last one, and of course Hats gets it. It just makes it look so damn easy.
Great work for the AWP. That's always nice to see. When you can have your second AWP just constantly going and getting multiple kills, having 4K rounds, that's fantastic.
They've had that double op setup since like the 4th or 5th round of the CT side. It has literally been the solution, the skeleton key to MVP. So here is what could be the final round of our opening map here. MVP's choice to begin here on Inferno. Overpass coming up next is such a huge question mark. They would love to take this out of regulation, but they need 2 rounds consecutive, and they need to start it off while playing with sidearms. They have utility, Hugo. So many flashbangs can just be chucked up and over into this bomb site. However, they need to follow up with not just grenades, but kills to boot, and that's not going to help.
Oh, serious damage taken from the HE. And MVP, they're going to filter the way through middle. The smoke is down to hold Order back, but with 4 players on this A site, it shouldn't be too much of a worry. Hats has been consistent on this B site, so they don't need a second man to join him just yet. Flashes through, hold MVP back, and they're going to go for it anyway. Imagine kicks things off with first blood, but still double trades on the CZs. Keep things dangerous. Sicko on the site with the AWP does find a couple of kills as well as a Molotov burns down a player, but the pistol is out and the kills are coming through. It might be enough for Order, but Solo is the last man up.
And he's grabbed himself the AWP. We have seen him in so many clutch situations. He has no teammates to play with, but Order are going to pump the brakes. They will slow things down, and Solo's going to peek into Hats, who has been incredible throughout that CT half. The Aussies picking up map 1. They managed the comeback. A very scary T-side from them, barely getting rounds on the board, Hugo, but it is enough. The composure, the resilience from Order will get them the first map advantage.
And wow, an 11.